Hi, this is Andy with Nioxus Corporation, and in this class, we're going to begin looking at our CRM module. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the function menu and enter the CRM module, and I'm going to create a new CRM record. Now, this CRM system tracks not only your CRM activities like phone calls, meetings, emails, and other forms of communication, but it allows you to schedule recurring tasks and to-dos, set up reminders, and even manage your entire sales pipeline. In this class, we're going to be looking at CRM activities, but in future classes, we'll look at these other CRM group options. When setting up a CRM activity, you want to use the activity type, which is a multiple choice field, to define the type of activity. In this case, we're having a face-to-face meeting via digital video with a sales lead. Again, when sales lead flag is on, this will open up our sales pipeline. We'll dive more into pipeline in our future training classes. With the sales activity, we have a starting date and an optional ending date. If the ending date is different than the starting date, you'll want to fill that in here. If this is a one-day activity, there's no need to indicate an ending date. Optionally, you can set the beginning and ending time. I'm going to go ahead and say that this call is going to begin at 1:30 p.m. Here in the company field, we can select from any of the companies in our company address book. I'm going to go ahead and select Shelby Enterprises, and then under attendees or assignees, I can see a list of all of the people that are associated with Shelby Enterprises. If I leave the company blank, I'll get a list of all of the individuals, all of the active individuals in my individual address book. So this field, the company field, can optionally serve as a filter on this field, the individual attendees or assignee. And I'm going to say I'm going to meet with Gary Patterson, the president of Shelby Enterprises. The activity owner is me. This is the person that is in charge of the event, that is scheduling the event, that will effectively manage the event. We have our optional category and classification. Remember, both of these are completely user-defined. You can set a category for the CRM activity, and then classifications are subdivisions of the category. Once we have defined an activity, it's important to keep track of when that activity has been completed. We can indicate a completed activity by using this flag right here at the top of the screen. When it's white, that implies an incomplete activity. Clicked green, the activity has been completed. And for these icons across the top, we can close the screen, access our documents module, which we'll talk about more in a moment. We have our notebook, the ability to set recurring activities. We can look at different inventory options. What has this company or what has this contact purchased in the past? We can see that there. This allows us, if we are taking a new order during the course of a CRM activity, we can use this icon to go to our order entry or invoice entry screen. This allows us to schedule follow-up activities or see a list of all activities that are part of this particular activity chain. Finally, as long as the activity has not been completed, we can delete or edit the activity. Once completed, however, an activity cannot be edited or deleted from the CRM ledger. Now, this icon here has a number of purposes. This allows us to look at the history or get additional information on a particular company. Again, the company field is optional, but if you have defined a company, you can use this toggle switch to click once to see a basic overall summary of our history with this company. Any open orders, their entire order history, as well as their current account balance and any former account balances that were credited or written off. As I mentioned, this is a toggle switch. You can click it a second time, and this will bring up historical detail. All of the invoices we have sent to this customer, all of the payments we have received from this customer, and all former, past, or future activity scheduled with this particular customer. If this field is blank, then our history fields, both summary and detail, will be blank. If we've indicated a company, we'll get company-specific detail. Again, as I mentioned, this is a toggle switch. I can click it again to turn things off. Once for the summary, I can click it a second time, or I can click any one of these boxes to get historical detail, and a third time to go back to our standard view. Now, when we are in the CRM module or CRM mode on our control panel, we'll see this list of our entire CRM activity ledger. And this is all activities in all groups. This includes sales activities, tasks and to-dos, and reminders. Of course, we can filter on this field by simply clicking on it and seeing or selecting the particular groups we want to look at. The default is all groups. These options here allow us to define a date range for our view. We can look at just activities for today. Today's activities will have the calendar icon appearing in this column when the start date is equal to today's current date. This allows me to look at just today's activities or just this week's activities. I can look at a 2-week window of activity or look at all activities for the current month or the future month. I can see my ledger for all activities for this current calendar year, or I can set a date range manually. Here we see a date range that allows me to see all activities from the beginning of this year scheduled through the end of next year. And remember, all of these columns can be used to filter and define the view, whether it's an ascending or descending order, whether we want to group it by priority. For example, here I can see my priority groupings, and here I can see how many records there are per priority. I'll go ahead and remove that group to go back to our standard view. You can again filter or group on any one of these columns. This column on the far right is our document attachment indicator. This will show us the number of documents that are attached to a particular activity in our CRM ledger. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to open up this activity, and let's say instead of being an email regarding a new order, let's say that we're actually going to have a video meeting with our board of directors. The company could be our own company, and the attendees would be all of the people who are on the board of directors for our company. Now, in this case, we want to attach a couple of documents to this activity. And by attach, I mean when the activity reminder is emailed out, there will be attachments, PDF attachments to the email, which will include the attachments to this activity. In this case, the financials and the activity agenda. I'm going to go ahead and click on the document icon, and we see our standard document management module options. I can add a new document or view the library of documents as it currently stands. But when you're in the CRM module, you have an additional document option, and that is to be able to select a document. When selecting a document, you can go in and essentially go to the document library, pick a document that already exists, and have that document attach to the email reminders for this activity. Once you've selected a document, the document will appear here, and any comments that you want to add about this document as it relates to this CRM activity, those can be typed in there. And that's accessible through the document icon. As I mentioned, you also have your notebook, which is available in every module, including our CRM module. That's the basics of CRM activity record entry. In our next few training videos, we're going to look at tasks and to-dos, reminders, sales, and our sales pipeline. I'll see you then.